So this is coming out past midnight. Technically it's 11:30, so I'm still recording on day 8, but it'll be on YouTube probably 12:30. So and I'm gonna jump right into after that. I'm gonna start recording my day 9 video. But anyway, so Resident Evil 30 Day Challenge, day 8. What is the first Resident Evil game you played? For me, yes, I got a new haircut, but I didn't do it because I'm a Jake Mueller fan. I actually wanted to change. I've had the same hair for about 12 years. Anyway, um, so the first Resident Evil game I ever played was Resident Evil Director's Cut. It was the second version of Resident Evil. The first version came out on Sega Saturn, and then the Director's Cut came out on PlayStation 1. I think it was probably about maybe a year or two later. I don't know. So that was the first game I ever played. I don't know what the difference between the two is because all the editions that came out after that have always been Director's Cut. Resident Evil 1. But it's the very first one I played. It scared the shit out of me. I'm not going to try and censor myself. It scared the shit out of me. First time I played it. It wasn't so much the iconic. First of all, the thing that grabbed me the most, like I said, I'm trying to say, is the iconic. You turn the corner, but you're playing as Jill or Chris, doesn't matter. But you go into the dining room area, you see with Barry, you see there's blood, Barry's inspecting the blood on the floor, and then you go into this hallway, this doorway, and you turn around the corner and you see a zombie eating one of Bravo Team star members on the floor. And then it gets up, and it's up to you if you want to shoot it with your gun, stab it with your knife, go around it, or just, run away. Either way, if you kill it, you can inspect whatever. But when you go back into the kitchen area, it's still going to follow you through the door, and Barry's going to end up killing it by blowing its head off. So, but that gives you the first taste of the game. I mean, if you stayed and fought, that gave you the first taste of the game. Because you unloaded most of your rounds into that guy and he fell and stayed down. Or if you were stabbing him, if you were that ballsy and just stabbed that motherfucker, it took a few swipes. And it was pretty intense how close he got. And he would even probably chomp on you if you weren't, if you just didn't try to back away or evade anything he was going to do. The thing that really got me the most though was all the jumps, the puzzles. I was a little bit too young to understand the puzzles, so I had to have my strategy guides that were big at the time because you didn't have the stuff we have now on the internet. But I had to go get one and use it to solve the puzzles and see the maps and where everything was at and read the tips on fighting the bosses and the mini bosses and any creatures that would pop up, where to find the good weapons, where to find ammo for said good weapons. I hated dogs. I had a small fear of dogs growing up. I just didn't have a good relationship with dogs, and the fact that there were dogs in the game and they chased you and jumped at you and attacked you was pretty nerve-wracking to me at that time. The furthest I ever got to without any assistance from a Game Shark at that time. First time I played it was all the way up to the plant boss, the big ivy plant, which I already saw the hunter, I think, by that point. But that was just ridiculous. I mean, the hunter was crazy. The dogs were creepy. The zombies were everywhere. They were nuts. And then that huge plant, led you into the later on when I played the game with after getting a Game Shark, but I didn't use the Game Shark anymore. Seeing the shark, yeah, the Resident Evil 1 had a shark, not like, it was way before Resident Evil 6, the shark there. But, oh, that thing was creepy, right? I mean, it wasn't just like big cinematic fight scene with it and, just trigger pulling. Like, it was, this thing would swallow you whole. Like you were walking around in like a room with waist deep water and you had two baby sharks and the shark swimming around you. So that was pretty intense knowing that thing could do, like the baby sharks are picking at you and then, if the mother shark gets too close, she'll take a big chunk out of you, or if she's in a mid-range and she's ready to strike, she will swallow you whole. It's real creepy. Dealing with the bees were creepy. Mainly was just the hunters and the zombies, and then of course the tyrant. There was only one big monster in the game. That was the tyrant. Not T-103, but the actual tyrant with the heart hanging down its face, and just the one set of claws. But I mean that game is just. I look back on that game very fondly as far as what's made the series. Like it was a great kicker for the series, and it just grabs you and just wouldn't let go. I mean, no one I've talked to has ever hated that game. Everyone looks back on it and they remember all the scares, they remember the puzzles, they remember the challenges, they remember just the creepiness of not wanting to play at night. Especially like if there's a small Easter egg that they was in the game, was their own original Easter egg. They You ran into the mansion at the beginning of the game. If you turn around, when you got control of your character, if you turned around and went to the door that you just ran through and you opened the door, hit the action button to try to open it, like dog, you would open it and then a dog would jump out at you, and then of course you'd shut the door right in time before the dog could get to you. It was it was crazy. I mean, that game had a lot of good scares built into it, and just taking place all in a mansion and just reading all the journals, seeing everything that was going on, and God, man, that game was just so good. So that was my very, very first Resident Evil game I ever played, and it made me a fan, and it kept me a fan. I mean, no matter what anyone says about the games that have been coming out, a lot of people are talking crap about Resident Evil 6. I don't care. As a fan of the series and the story, I love it. Great game. I've been playing it nonstop, and I mean, even after I get all that I can, I'll still probably play it some more, like I did with Resident Evil 5, and I've been doing Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. The only ones I didn't really like were the ones that went off the story mode. The Outbreak, I'm looking at it right now. Outbreak, but Gaiden was really good too. So yeah, go ahead and stop and upload this so I can get it on the internet in time. Tomorrow's question is favorite creature. So I try not to touch too many on the creatures. But I'm gonna go ahead and I need to think a little bit on that. I'll probably be at the gym thinking about it, and I'll make a video on it. All right, so I'll talk to you guys later.